Okay, so the first question I'm going to do here is 2010 2D. Now this does kind of really fall under stoichiometry, but I am going to do it here. I won't be doing it then in stoichiometry. I usually do stoichiometry after the Easter break. So given that sodium hydroxide was in excess, okay, so that's the first part we're just going to look at here. In a chemical reaction, you always have two reagents. You have a reagent in excess, and you also have a limiting reagent. Automatically, if one reagent is in excess, the other is the limiting reagent. It is the limiting reagent which determines the amount of product made. So when I am setting up an equation or a ratio, it is always going to be with the limiting reagent. Again, the limiting reagent is quite important, and it is something that you will, when we look at in stoichiometry, be looking at working out. In this question, we're told which one is which. So we're asked then to calculate the percentage yield of soap. So what I'm going to look at here is I'm just going to go back up and I'm going to work out what I have. So I'm told I have 8.9 grams of my glycerol tristearate. I'm not worried about my sodium hydroxide because that's in excess. It's not going to have any effect on the amount of product that is formed. Again, the 30 centimetres cubed of ethanol, the ethanol only acts as a solvent, so again that's going to have nothing to do with my calculation. And over here then I'm told that I end up with 7.0 grams of my soap. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is to work out my number of moles here of my glycerol tristearate. So number of moles equals mass in grams all over my relative molecular mass. And it is my relative molecular mass of all of this. Okay, so 12 by 17 plus 1 by 35 plus 12 plus 16 plus 16 plus 12 plus 1 by 2 plus 12, so I'm here now, by 17 plus 1 by 35 plus 12 plus 16 plus 16 plus 12 plus 1 plus 12 by 17 plus 1 by 35 plus 12 plus 16 plus 16 plus 12 plus 1 by 2, and when I work all that out I get 890. So I have 8.9 divided by 890, and that gives me 0.01 moles. Now, that is my limiting reagent, so that is going to determine the amount of product that's formed. In this case, I'm looking at my soap. So I am going to set up my ratio with my glycerol tristearate with the soap. And if I look at my ratio, okay, there's no number before this, so it's 1, and here I have 3. So my ratio is 1 is to 3. So if I have 0.01 moles of glycerol tristearate, I'm going to have 0.03 moles of my soap. So moles then is equal to mass in grams divided by my MR of my soap, which is C17 H35 COONA. So again, 12 by 17 plus 1 by 35 plus 12 plus 16 plus 16 plus 23, and that's going to give me 12 plus 16 plus 16 plus 23, 306. So I have 0.03 multiplied by 306, and that gives me 9.18 grams in theory. Okay, so if I had 100% being produced, I'd end up with 9.18 grams. However, I don't have 9.18 grams made. In the question I'm told I've only 7.0 grams. So in order to work out your percentage yield, it is the actual yield divided by the theoretical yield and percentage multiplied by 100 over 1. The actual yield that I get, I'm told in the question, is 9.6. The theoretical yield, so the amount I potentially could have got, is 9.18. So 7.6 divided by 9.18 equals, multiplied by 100 over 1 equals 76.253%. So that is your percentage yield, the amount that you actually ended up getting of soap.